This is my first video update coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus on this Thursday morning. Yesterday, my video update, it was a Wednesday, and I said this is going to be my first video update for Monday. So I got my days completely mixed up. But this is a Thursday morning right now that I am doing this video update. Let's talk about what's going on in the news. So, you have martial law now in Kherson, Zaporozhye, Donetsk, Lugansk. You also have a medium security level decree, which the Russian Security Council put out yesterday as well for various other regions like Crimea and Kursk and some other regions, mostly in the south, kind of around Ukraine as well as Crimea. So they've put this like medium level security notice for these regions as well. And you have the continuous missile and drone strikes aimed at crippling the Ukraine electric grid. And it's working. It is working. Zelensky came out with a statement yesterday, I believe, and he said that that the energy system in Ukraine can be completely disabled. We also have a lot of rolling blackouts in various cities in Ukraine. We have Nikolaev shutting off traffic lights in the evening in order to conserve electricity. Odessa, you have outdoor lighting of shops and advertising being turned off. Just a general sense that the Ukraine electric grid is about to collapse. Russia just continues to hit whatever they want in Ukraine, whenever they want. There is no air defense to stop the missiles and drones. And if this continues, if these strikes continue, you could be looking at just a complete shutting off of the electricity throughout all of Ukraine. It's going to take some time. I don't think it's going to happen like tomorrow or the next day. And of course, it's contingent on Russia to continue to use these drones and these missiles. But all of this is obviously in preparation for something very, very big that is about to happen. Those kamikaze drones, I'm telling you, they really were a game changer. They really are a game changer. It's very ironic that you had the 7 months of game-changing weapons narrative from the collective West, and what really ended up happening is that you had the game-changing weapons coming from Russia or Iran, depending on what you believe. The Russians deny that these drones are Iranian. The Iranians deny that they're providing drones. Who knows? One thing's for sure. One thing's for certain. Iran is fielding many, many phone calls from many countries that are very interested in purchasing these drones. The phone is ringing off the hook in Iran for the purchase of these, well, I'm not going to say these drones in Russia, something similar to the drones being used in Russia. So who knows if these are Iranian, who knows if these are Russian. I've heard analysis from both sides. I've heard an analyst saying these are Iranian. I've heard analysts saying these are Russian. But if these are Russian, then maybe this was just a clever marketing trick from Iran. Wouldn't that be interesting if, like, Iran said, you know what, Russia's modeling these drones after our tech, but let's leak some stories, or let's put out the narrative that we're the ones that are actually supplying all of these drones to Russia, and that'll create a kind of a demand for our military hardware. That would be an interesting development, wouldn't it? These are made in Russia. These drones are made in Russia. Maybe they're modeled after Iranian designs, but Iran kind of floats out the the story that, oh, maybe we're delivering these drones to Russia. And now they're getting the phone calls to sell drones to all kinds of countries. Anyway, I was just thinking about that as I was walking this morning. So, Turkey. Let's talk about Turkey. That's what's going down in Ukraine. That's what's going down in Russia. Something big is going down, is about to go down. Of course, you have the Kherson offensive, which appears to be still in the preparation phase, though a lot of attacks are coming from Ukraine towards Kherson, and so far they're all being repelled. So far, all of these attacks are being repelled. Now, there are some people saying these are just probing attacks, and this isn't the real deal, but it doesn't seem like they're Ukrainian probes into understanding Russia's defenses and just trying to get a feel for the landscape. It seems like these are real attacks trying to break through, trying to get some sort of foothold into Kherson. But anyway, these so far the Ukrainian attempts to break through in Kherson are being repelled. The big offensive, in my opinion, still has not been launched by Ukraine, and it looks like it's still being prepared. Perhaps next week. I'm getting reports that next week you're going to have the real big push from Ukraine into Kherson. Let's talk about Turkey, because Turkey is undergoing a lot of pressure from the collective West, given its drift towards Russia and this new fair world order, the SCO, BRICS, China, Russia, becoming a gas hub, Turk Stream, all of these things. Well, it's actually brought American officials to Ankara now to issue various ultimatums to Turkey. That is what is going on. The United States, the Biden White House, they have sent officials to Ankara to tell them, one last time, stop what you're doing. Get on board with Western sanctions. Stop your support of Russia. Stop this neutral position that you have had with regards to this conflict in Ukraine. Get on the side of NATO. Stop this gas hub nonsense. All of these things, SCO, BRICS. This is your final warning. And we had American officials flying into Ankara this week to press Turkish officials and business leaders into compliance with Washington's anti-Russia sanctions, is according to Bloomberg. Led by Treasury Department Assistant Secretary for Terrorist Financing and Financial Crimes, that's some title there, Elizabeth Rosenberg, the U.S. delegation met the Turkish central bank governor, and business groups in Ankara and Istanbul earlier this week, the report stated. Rosenberg met with local Treasury officials on Wednesday for private talks, Bloomberg sources added. Rosenberg was formerly at the Center for a New American Security, a think tank largely funded by the weapons industry, whilst working at the Treasury during the Obama administration. She drafted sanctions on Iran, Libya, and Syria. Yeah, all right. So you have a think tanker, the New American Security think tank. Now she is flying to Ankara as part of this Biden White House delegation. She took part in Obama's policies with regards to Iran, Libya, and Syria. And we all know what happened in Libya and Syria. And we all know what the U.S. has been trying to do in Iran. Regime change, color revolutions. Anyway, she flies to Ankara and she meets with various business officials and the central bank governor. Her and her delegation fly to Ankara to meet with the Turkish central bank governor to issue a final warning. Get on board with NATO, stop your support, or stop your your neutral stance. I don't want to say support. Stop your neutral stance with regards to Russia and Ukraine. Stop drifting towards Russia and this Eurasian, China-led SCO world order, or else. What are they going to do to Turkey? Well, if you're meeting with various business officials and the central bank governor, I imagine that the first move from the collective West is to sink the Turkish economy, to attack the lira. I imagine that was the warning issued to these Turkish officials. And that is going to probably be step one in what will become a type of Erdogan regime change. Now, we already know that we have various think tanks in Washington focused on regime change in Turkey. One of those think tanks is actually led by John Bolton. But this is Turkey's final warning, I believe, from the U.S. This is going to be the last trip that American officials are going to make to Turkey before they begin the regime change process. And of course, Turkey is not alone in this regime change that is about to hit various countries. I imagine MBS is also going to receive similar warnings and perhaps have host similar U.S. officials in Saudi Arabia who are going to deliver a final warning to MBS and his government to either stop what you're doing or regime change is coming. That is what is going on in Turkey. Keep an eye out for Turkey. Keep a watch for Turkey. Keep an eye out for what is going on in Saudi Arabia. There is no way in hell that the collective West, that the United States is going to let Turkey and Saudi Arabia choose their own path and to make alliances with Russia and China and BRICS and the SCO and organizations like this. It's not going to happen. Let's do a clown world and wrap this video up. Bill G, Mr. Bill G, the former Microsoft founder and former the Microsoft founder and former Microsoft CEO. He still is a Microsoft founder. That'll never get taken away from him. He has come out and he has said that the deindustrialization of Europe is actually a good thing. It's a good thing. This is what he told CNBC. Europe's gas supply and affordability crisis is actually good for the long run, according to Microsoft founder Bill G. That's what he told CNBC on Tuesday. He explained that it would ultimately force the continent to embrace renewable energy, adding that people won't want to be dependent on Russian natural gas. Gates acknowledged that the public did get a little optimistic about how quickly the transition to renewables could be done, admitting the need to find non-Russian hydrocarbon sources. Elaborating on the matter, the founder of climate-oriented venture capital fund Breakthrough Energy Ventures published an essay titled State of the Energy Transition on his blog on the same day. Speaking about global greenhouse gas emissions, Gates noted that the ultimate goal of going from 51 billion tons a year to zero should be achieved in the next 3 decades. The billionaire insisted it wouldn't be right to drain all the money away from fossil fuel sectors because that's how people get to work today. It's how people avoid freezing to death in the winter. However, he said markets can't be trusted to move towards renewables on their own. A plan is needed to speed the process up. Let me read that again. Bill G said that markets can't be trusted to move towards renewables on their own. A plan is needed to speed the process up. A plan that will speed the process up to renewables. What could that plan be? I wonder. Could that plan begin with a U and end with an E? Could that plan have a comedian, clown actor as the president involved in it? I don't know. Maybe that's part of the plan. Maybe that's going to help Europe speed up its move towards renewables. Maybe 8 or 9 rounds of sanctions will force Europeans to ditch those fossil fuels and move towards solar and windmills and all kinds of other stuff. What was Trudeau talking about and Schultz? What were they talking about? Hydrogen fuel. Maybe that's the ticket in the next 3 decades, according to Bill Gates. So that is Bill G just saying the quiet part out loud. All kinds of industries are benefiting from this Ukraine conflict and from this deindustrialization, Russia's to blame for everything narrative. You have the military-industrial complex, the globalists, censorship, big tech, cancel culture. All kinds of people are benefiting from what is going on in Ukraine and the demonization of Russia. And one of the big beneficiaries are the renewables, of which oligarch billionaires are heavily invested in. Anyway, that is the video, guys. theduran.locals.com. Look for us on Rockfin as well. And look for Alexander's channel. Look for the Duran's channel. That's it. That's all I've got for today. Take care.